Hi everyone, welcome to this week weekly market update. So as usual, we shall see what happens on last Friday, and this week there's many of things happening over the last week. So quite a couple of things to share with you guys. And before I start, usually I don't say this, as you can, if you have been following on my video. If you don't mind, please continue to subscribe on my YouTube video, follow on my Facebook page, or join my Telegram as well, because it really brings a lot of benefit to you guys if you guys have been following on my video. I've shared a couple of things did really happen. I will share with you. We'll review the trades together in this video as well. So let's see what happened on last Friday. As we can see that Dow Jones, S&P closed at a record high, with around, Dow Jones closed around 30,200, and S&P was closed at around 3,700. So the main reason for the jump is because of the US job report miss. But that will be weird, right? You will be saying that, isn't that contradicting? How come that the report is, I mean, it misses the target, the forecast target, but then the market went even bullish. Why? The main reason is because, right, like I always say, market is always one step ahead. All right. So with this record missing, right, the traders or investors believe that the stimulus will actually roll out even faster. All right, as you can see from this news, Joe Biden, they urged the broad actions on the COVID-8 to come in stronger. So because of this, right, the poor record actually give the positive news to the investor or to the trader out there. All right, so with such package, with such news going to announce soon, right? Ultimately, it will actually bring the dollar to be weakened, and when the dollar weakens, it will actually strengthen the commodities, which I mentioned on my last week video. So we will look at chart later as well. All right. So this is what causes the market to spike up and close at an all-time high. All right, because market, the Wall Street, the Main Street, all believe the stimulus package will come in as soon, very soon. All right. So next thing, uh last Monday, as you see that I have mentioned this very long ago in July. I don't really believe on these stocks, Nicola. It always come with a reason, and I explained in my education video before, if you have been following. So you can see on this Facebook page, can you see that on the 21st September, this is the second time so I announced why I mentioned it's a red flag. So if you have been following, right, you should avoid this counter, or you can go short or go option sell put. All right. um Ultimately, what happened on Monday itself is because the founder, all right, returns. Finally, he have the rights because he's no longer being locked out. All right, his lockout period is expired. He can actually sell off all the shares on his hand. So this is one of the news I'll be talking about on the chart as well. All right, so if you guys never watch out on my video before, go and follow up. Found You can find it at the YouTube, or you can find it at my Facebook page. All right, so this is one of the thing, but till now I will still totally avoid on this Nikola shares. All right, don't try to pick cheap shares, but it doesn't grow at all. All right, so next, uh all right, so I mentioned dollar will be weakened. You see, even analysts will see that it will continue to weaken in 2021, because you're going to print more money, right? As you can see on Biden, he's going to print billions of dollars, right? Follow up with 100 billions of dollars in the more aid in January. So more dollar going to print, definitely it will be weakened. And beside that, one, like I said, market is always one step ahead. Oil price spike up 5 straight week. Can see that, fifth, okay, 5 straight week. And I mentioned that US oil is going to hit 50, 52. This is Brent, by the way. I'm referring to WTI. So WTI still got some room to grow. Right now it's closed at 46. All right, still got some room to grow. Demand will definitely increase, but of course not just demand itself. Mainly is because that the OPEC actually they increased the supply, but not to what they initially wanted to. All right, they added just 500,000 barrel compared to 2 billion barrel initially. All right, and beside that, of the positive news from the vaccine itself, right, actually boost up the oil price. Okay, so as I mentioned before, with the weaken of dollar, all right, with the strengthen of oil, which is the Canadians, is actually help, right? It actually make US against Canadian weakens. Alright, which I shared in my Facebook page as well. I give a 4 out of 5 star rating that it will be bearish, it will break 1.3. Eventually it broke and it reached around 1.27 last Friday closing. So if you have followed the counter, you should be earning some profit over here. That's why I say if you never follow my video, please follow or subscribe to my YouTube. You will gain more benefit. Alright. Alright, next in our local market, we will be looking at Singtel, this counter. As you can see that last Friday, MES actually announced that they will be given full digital bank license to Grab and Singtel, and also other participants as well, mainly up to 4. So Singtel is one of the counter which on our local market, one of our all-time favorite Singaporean shares. So based on chart itself, there is some opportunity there. After all, it's our all-time favorite, Uncle Auntie favorite as well. The strong dividends counter as well. So as we know, Singtel is one of the biggest telco, but because of the telco industry is not doing good, it's not bright enough, too many competitors out there. So Singtel actually divert their business into the bank, as we can see that based on this news, right? So it might actually give a slightly boost on Singtel counter. So this bring my attention why I'm going into Singtel once again. Not going means doesn't mean I will definitely step into or invest into it, but I will just take a look, keep my eye on it and see what's next on Singtel. All right, so that's all. Let's move on to the chart next. First of all, like I mentioned, we will look at USD Canadian first. All right, USD Canadian. So this is what I mentioned previously, right? Shared last week video. I say very significant support resistance level. All right, and then I mentioned that with the weakness of dollar, raising of crude oil, it will definitely break 1.3. All right, bearish rating 4.5. It broke off, it come down. So where is our next TP? 1.26. This is what I charted previously. All right, share in my trading view, shared in my Facebook page, all right, share everywhere. So basically, it's just to help people who actually follow my video. All right, basically why I do this is because I myself do monitor market, so I just shared what I have do my research as well. All right, not to share amongst the public as well, so you does benefit if you follow me. Okay, next thing, look at dollar. All right, has been sharing, keep sharing. Let's look at a weekly chart. As you can see, all right, I said once broke 92, next level 90 is heading there. All right, just less than $1 away. All right, so we shall see. It might go even lower, but in the first place, our first immediate support will be at $90. All right, next we will be looking at US oil. US oil shared last week as well. You can see all the comments still there. We are waiting for 50. It's going to reach, and then next final target 52, and then we will see how it goes. All right. For the oil, it's quite positive because OPEC meeting just over. Just added 500,000 barrel, so this should go up again. All right, if you are looking at those leisure sector like airline, like cruise, which has spiked up, you should know that all these require oil, right? Even though Biden support clean energy, solar, which is good as well, but ultimately you can't replace immediately, which I mentioned again and again. So oil demand still there, right? So if you have not entered this trade, then hopefully there's some pullback that you may actually go into it. All right. Next, we will be looking at just now you guys saw it is SLU utility. All right, utility I shared in my video as well. I mentioned on the 30th of August in my Facebook page under the education. I think that this is a good long term to play. So I bought on the 31st and then I sold on the 9th of November. Why I make this decision even though I say it's a long-term play? Ultimately, it's a sector rotation, right? As you know, market has been very bullish, correct? Because of the vaccines. So when the market bullish, people will tend to rotate into where? Today, not into technology anymore because Nasdaq didn't broke higher. Why? Because people think that vaccine is here, no longer require technology, which I don't think so. It will come back once again, but they will rotate it into in those non-defensive counter that has much growth as well, right? So I pull out my funds. I'm still looking to long. I'm still looking at utility ETF after all. So I'm waiting for a good price to enter once again. All right, but in the meantime, let's catch the pullers in the market. All right, I did mention last week. It's the last month of the year, so market tend to be have thin volume. Will there be any, January effects, all these, right, is still come into play. All right, will there be any window dressing as well? Is still come into play. So monitor closely as we are at all-time high for the US indices. All right, as you can see for those Asia indices is doing quite good, pretty good, and 225, which is Japan's. All right, you can see. Can you see now? It's a very bullish breakout. All right, so if let's say you are at a Asia one, then you're relatively safe. But for the US side, you might be want to take note. This China A50 bull flag almost done. All right, congrats if you are holding. This is a weekly chart, by the way. All right, so if you're looking at daily chart, it's really very bullish. All right, so this is a China index. So long right with the trend, long something that is good, riding with the trend. Want to short something that is weak. So currently market is not really very weak, but there's one counter I'm looking to short, which I mentioned previously, will share as well. So next, we'll be looking at we'll be looking at Eon. Eon. All right, Eon I shared as well with the bullish of oil. So I mentioned in my Telegram group as well. Of course, it's a private group, but I did mention. I mean, I shared in the public as well. I say watch out for the chart, right? There's a pullback, and once pullback, can you see? Even this is shared in the public. All right, you can long play out. Why is the play out? You can long after the breakout. All right, where the pullback close to 34. When it close back to 34 is the second, you also can look to long. All right, but I see there's some support here. It's a very nice. All right, it's a very nice triangle. Pull back from here, so I entered as well. All right, so of course there's a differentiation between public and private, but ultimately we are still at the same direction, but it's just that the price is different. All right, so if you have long on Ezion, congrats to you. Next, we will be looking at Pfizer. Pfizer, as we know, vaccine. All right, we know this chart is on the vaccine. So for Pfizer, let's look at a weekly chart. All right, for Pfizer, I long at around 37. Also provided in the Telegram as well. Price target was given at 30.40, if I remember correctly, 40. But also revised TP is given as well. So I'm continue to hold Pfizer. If you didn't manage to enter, I don't know where is the better price right now, because right now it's all waiting for the FDA to approve these vaccines, and then you will fly once again. All right, you will fly once again. Why? If you have been following up the news, you know that actually the UK side has approved Pfizer to be one of the vaccine they are going to roll out. All right, they approved already. Approved already. All right, it's not pending, it's approved already. So right now waiting for the FDA to approve on these vaccines, and then you will fly once again. Okay, so I continue to hold on to it. Next, we will be looking at Gillette. This one I shared in the public Telegram. All right, on the chart itself, I just shared the chart. All right, and then you go and figure out what's next. All right, I shared. So before I shared without this green arrow, definitely. Not after. So I shared. I say things to watch out. Why? Because it actually came down to our worth taking risk zone. Right, worth taking risk zone. Can you see? It actually broke the $60. Previously, I mentioned, right, this is too obvious 60. It will break. Why? Because stop hunts. So once it break, right now people is looking for some rebound. Of course, this is the anti-trend trade. But if let's say you are taking you don't mind to take a risk, all right, it's good to nimble a bit along the way. All right, so this Gillette. And then next, I shared on, yeah, I mentioned on Twitter. This is something which I look kind of like bearish, but ultimately it's still anti-trend. This is uptrend. Can you see? It's uptrend since March. All right. The recovery is very strong. But then I mentioned that will it be more on the bearish side since Trump is out, right? No more Twitter games. So it covered the gap. So we are looking at the signal to short. Of course, this is anti-trend trade. Like I said, you don't. This is like trading on the short-term basis against the long-term trend. All right. So if you don't want, then just stay away. All right. So risk management is also one of the things to watch out if you are doing trading. All right. Next thing, Nicola. Shed and shed. All right. So first video, reflect here, gap down. Second video, education video, why reflect, come down again, pull back. All right. Then the news came out. Remember the news came out, and then come down again. All right. So this is actually a very obvious. It's just a one trend trick. Kind of every pullback is an opportunity for you to short, for you to take out your profit. Do not enter because you want to do some this kind of funny thing. Although it's like similar what I did for Twitter, but ultimately this is a red flag, right? This is a red flag. All right, Twitter, there might be a chance that it will come down because this is a pullback, everyone take profit, right? But this one once down, right, is always a gap. Can you sustain the gap is another question. All right, that's why I say don't go this kind of hanky panky counter. You want to stay aside, please stay aside. All right, there's many counter out there. Don't have to fall in love in one stocks. Next is our local counter, which is Singtel. All right, Singtel, MAS Digital, full bank license given. So right now, I'm looking to long is possible. It's either a better price or a lousy price, but not really lousy, just the worst compared to you can get a better price or just a current price. But ultimately, we are looking for upside directions at 250. This is just the first TP. All right, so we are looking around here. I'm looking at MAS, I'm looking at Singtel mainly because of this reason. All right, this might give some small injections to Singtel counter. Ultimately, this is one of the so-called a big telco in Singapore. All right, so lastly, let's look back at one new counter, so-called a lot of people forget about it due to Warren Buffett news, right? All right, so craft, once again, let's look at a long-term chart. On a weekly chart, we know what happened here, correct? Not? We know something. They overbought, all right, over acquisite. But this is one of the counter still inside Trump portfolio. I mean, not Trump, Warren Buffett portfolio. So right now, looking at the chart itself, right, I can see some pattern over here. Ultimately, first of all, is a inverse head and shoulder, head and shoulder. All right. Next thing is a good dividends. I mean defensive counter, right? And I'm looking for at the long side. First target will be at 42. Why reverse image? Right? Reverse image of the inverse head and shoulder. Somewhere around here. I purposely don't draw. I draw right now in this video so you guys learn something as well. Alright, so this is where I put my TP. Alright, so if you have not entered craft, I mean it's good to nimble along the way. Of course don't throw everything in, throw everything in one entry point, right? You can wait for some pullback, but I think this is quite decent. It's broke up in the first resistance. Second, I'm looking at 36. One is able to clear 36.50. I'm looking at 42 next. All right, just nice. Here is one big gap. It tend to cover somehow. This gap is too big lah. So this counter is not bad counter. So there's chance that you will cover, and you can see that my 42 is not fully covered. There's still room to go. All right. So this is one a good counter. If I'll be sharing this is a public, right? So I'll be sharing. So if let's say you have not followed my trade, then follow my video. Then hopefully you guys follow or subscribe to my YouTube as well. All right, that's all for this week. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I shall see you guys next week once again. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.